Um, so yeah, let's get into it. Thoughts on 7.4. So since we did just finish MSQ was fine. Trina was interesting. It had the same issues I had with a lot of Endwalker's patches, where it's like you have one area and you're just running back and forth like a bunch. It's not that fun to me. Like, it's just, I don't know, it feels really tedious. Finding Kral's aunt was cool. The stuff with Halmarut at the end, interesting. We still don't really have a lot of knowledge about where that's going. At a guess, it sounds like maybe after Heidelin poofed, now there's something wrong with the source that can, that might affect all the shards. I don't know. We'll have to see where that goes. Doom Train was fun. I thought the trial was good. An FF8 boss with, I think, FF9 music, though, feels odd, but it's also an FF9 expansion. They used like the FF9 fanfare in everything except for like the one like roleplay / like solo like phased encounter, which was weird. Like, if you're gonna use it in 2 out of the 3 combat areas, like, let's use it in all of them. Like, that felt really weird. It was fine. It was fine. The Arcadian, I did the Arcadian, I don't know, like 4 days ago. It was fine. The problem with the Arcadians that I have, just because you don't spend as much time, it felt like you didn't spend as much time with the new characters as you did with the newer characters as they were introduced in like the first 2 tiers. I don't know if that's just how it feels, or if maybe it's factually accurate, with screen time or whatever. I don't know. They were okay, I think, right now, because I've done each fight once, right? So this is like the fresh hot take. I don't feel like they were as memorable as the other characters, just because it felt like we didn't have as much time with them. The big marketing push for this patch has been Everything Burns, that track by gosh, whatever that guy's name, I forget. I know who it is. They put so much weight behind this, like, oh yeah, we got this track and it's so cool. The track itself is good. Its usage in the game, I think, is awful. There's a lot of people that are like, it's the Warrior of Light's like wrestling theme. And if you want to make that connection, sure, okay. There was nothing in game that I felt tied that into that. So all you have is just like this really hard-hitting song in this like big classical theater talking about how everything burns. Nothing's burning. There's not, like, was there any fire moves that boss did? I don't think there was. Maybe one. I don't. It thematically, it did not fit like at all to me. In the same way that Smile was used when they were like doing the train thing during the 7.0 MSQ, where you're just doing this and all of a sudden you hear this music and you're kind of like, what is this? That was Everything Burns for me in the 12th fight. Great song by itself, great fight song, but like for that specific fight, it felt super out of place. What I had heard is that like basically it was recorded and then they're like, hey Square, like, we have this for you. And if that's true, I'm curious when that happened in development, like, because it feels like it was just kind of like thrown in there, because it feels like it doesn't fit. I'll be curious to see what the Savage mode does with the music, if there's some kind of variation on it that makes it fit more. If it does, that's kind of weird for like the normal mode then, because like the normal mode feels like it doesn't fit, but then the Savage, I don't know. It was fine. The raid overall was I liked the mechanics. The songs were good. I don't like wrestling. I'm not a big wrestling fan. So the story was kind of to me. They also kind of flubbed the story at the end for Arcadian. So, there's like all this buildup about like the president, and then you get there and it's just like, all right, yeah, he's like a serpent. We'll kill him and like get the magic juice out of him or whatever, right? That was all right. whatever. But like the whole reason we were doing it, right, was so that they would set all the feral souls free. So like, you know, we're trying to get rid of like the reliance on souls. And at the end of all this, it's like a sentence in dialogue. Like they don't show it or anything. There's like zero fanfare to it, and that felt bad to me, narratively. Like I would have loved to have seen a little more emphasis on it, like an actual cutscene with that happening. So that's me on Arcadian. What else is in this patch? The glamour stuff. Like I'm actually, like, if you've been watching, like I'm actually rocking like the gunbreaker body piece, like some monk pants. Like I like it to a point. I still think it's dumb as hell that I can be on a machinist and use gunbreaker gear. Like I could do I have another one made up here. Where'd it go? Where it's like, yeah, I could be a machinist but have like the red mage gear. That feels weird to me. I mean, granted, like I'm walking around in the gunbreaker one, but I think it stands out more because it's more of a classic Final Fantasy like identity, you know what I mean? Whereas it's like, same thing could be said if I'm wearing like dragoon armor on monk, or, you know, white mage armor on a warrior. Like that, I don't like that. I just don't. But when you're looking at, you know, do you limit some things, you just open it all up? It does make sense to just open it all up. So that's, I don't like it, but that is what it is. They also added that, where was it? There was like that command panel. I haven't really used this yet because I've literally had my own like command panel that I've made up, and I've had this for like, how old is this game? Like that long? Like I've had this thing for like 10 years. So it's an easier way to do like what was already possible. That's fine. It's more accessible, whatever. There's new UI skins. There's the green and the white. They're fine. The white wasn't as annoyingly bright as I thought it would be. The green I haven't looked at yet. I don't like green. I also don't like light like theme settings for like computers or apps or stuff. So I had the white one on for a few minutes. It was fine. So yeah, I think overall patch is fine, but like as far as things go, like I'm done. You know what I mean? Like that's the problem with all these patches is stuff comes out, you get the story. Okay, I did the story. Now what? Okay, there's Arcadian. I did that. I can keep doing it each week. But that's also like the same thing that we've been doing for the last like what, 12 years at this point, right? Where it's like log in every week, do my dailies, do the raid stuff. Like it's just, I don't know, man. They need to change something up. It's getting kind of tedious and boring at this point for me. And then DDoS, right? I can't, you know, if I'm going to give like a little mini review here, I have I've gotten disconnected a couple times already. Right before I logged on for stream today, there was a DDoS. People were getting booted. I logged into like a queue of like 300, and I got booted from the dungeon last night. I was playing last night and got booted from I just started like the first boss of the dungeon, and there was DDoS there. And so what I do want to say about DDoS, right? There is nothing Square Enix can do about it, is what they have said, right? It's just, this is a thing and it happens, and that's just kind of a reality of the way things are situated with the way that things work. And I'm not a huge like tech server engineer or anything like that, right? So what I will say is that Square Enix's what they do is they'll occasionally throw out like a tech notice on Lodestone that's like, oh, there might be some connection issues, and that's all they do. That's all they do. Yoshida made a statement, I don't know, probably over a year ago, 2 years ago at this point, right? And when he explained like there's not really much that they can do, but there is stuff that they can do. They could literally talk about it in something that doesn't feel like an automated post. They'd be like, hey, we know this is still a thing, we're sorry. They could come out and be like, hey, we know that with each patch, the DDoSing amps up and it sucks and it interrupts people's playtime, right? We're gonna credit everybody a day of game time, right? But they're not saying a damn thing, and that sucks, and I wish they would. Whether I don't know what the reason is for them not saying anything. They probably don't want to draw any more negative press about the game. But I think when you look around, what I see is people that do write for gaming sites that are becoming increasingly frustrated. And so I think this is going to get to a point where, regardless of if Square Enix takes the time to say, hey, this problem exists, people are going to start picking up on it anyway. So I think what they need to do is they need to get out of this weird PR mindset. If this is what is the case right now, be like, look, public perception of the game, not great with Dawn Trail. Sub numbers are still going down. They're literally losing people to these DDoS attacks. Like there's, you go on like Reddit or social media, people have unsubbed because of it. That's not great. And so I think what you need to do is you need to take a look at the players that are still playing and say, what can we do to make them happy? Staying silent about the DDoS stuff is not the way to go. So there's no easy solution, but I think they could start by literally saying anything, and making it sound like, they're not turning a deaf ear to this. So that's my thought. Patch was fine. It's more of the same. I think Hildebrand we got with this installment versus like a later installment, which is kind of nice. I feel like that usually comes later. I haven't got up with Hildebrand at all for a while. Yeah, it's fine. I don't know. There's nothing to keep me logging in a lot. Like I could still, like we had the eye level increase with this patch, right? I can come in and grind like raid each week, I guess. But all right, there was also the new jobs for Occult Crescent. And I guess they had to shut down Occult Crescent like within hours of the patch going live because the chests were bugged. So that's like another like giant QA issue that's popped up with this patch. Great job, QA. I don't know what the fuck they're doing over there, but like every patch there's something that's just like so stupid that gets through. We also had the level 1 like deer or whatever that was spawning. That was in the known issues in the patch notes. They emergency maintenance to get rid of that. But yeah, man, like there's new jobs on Occult Crescent, which is great for that content, but like all they added there, aside from the new jobs, was like accessories. There's no, I don't know about anybody else. Other people might find that fascinating and want to go back to that content, but like for me, as soon as we learned how Fork Tower worked, that it had like that asinine archaic entry system, and that it was like geared higher and not like Boja was. As soon as it was basically like came out that like the devs made a conscious decision to like make it suck worse than the last version of Field Ops, which was like great, I was like, I'm out. There's no reason for me to invest time in this content if this is, for whatever godforsaken reason you ended up thinking was good design. That right there, I think, is what's lost a lot of trust in the dev team for me personally through this patch cycle. Like they approved that, they greenlit that, and they're like, oh, it's because of resources and budget and stuff. Well, maybe you need to reprioritize stuff. Like they also did Aurum Vale got adjusted with this patch. They took out the piss puddles once again, robbing a dungeon of its identity to make it trust compatible, and it's an optional dungeon, so who the fuck cares? Like there's a lot of stuff that I disagree with the devs on that they've been doing. So yeah, this patch is just fine. It's not great, it's not awful, it's fine. It's more of the same. I loved the verticality and Doom Train, that's great, do more of that. But like overall, like I have not shifted much like where I've been with this game for the last few patches. Like it's still just, it's a game, it exists. I want to like it. I want to like the company running it. I want to have trust in the devs that are trying to make this game, but like, I don't know. So that's my thoughts on the game, and I'll rip this part out of the VOD and put it on YouTube for people that want to care. I know I've had at least one person that for whatever reason, wants to know what I still think about this game. I wish I liked it more. It sucks. I wish there were things in here that were, you know, got me super excited. I'm curious where things are going to go, but yeah, patch 7.4 is fine, and it's just it's more of the same. So there you go.